Your customer just told Amazon AI to buy a product, any product in your category, the moment it drops below $25. They're not browsing, they're not comparing, they set the trigger and walked away, and Rufus is about to decide which brand gets that sale. If the AI doesn't pick your product, you never even knew the sale existed. There's no click to win, no impression to optimize, no decision happened inside a conversion you weren't part of. The decision happened inside a conversation you were not part of. What I'm about to show you changes how you think about every listing you have on Amazon. 300 million people use Rufus in 2025. Amazon confirmed in their Q4 earning 3 weeks ago that it's driving 10 billion in incremental sales, and the auto buy feature is the part of Rufus that should have every seller's attention, but barely anyone is talking about it. I'm going to break down exactly how auto buy works, the pricing trap it creates for brands that aren't careful, what Rufus actually looks at when it decides which product to buy, and the specific listing changes you need to make this work. And at the end, I'll show you the one ranking signal that matters most for auto buy, and it's not your Amazon listing, it's not even on Amazon. Here's how your customers used to buy on Amazon. They search, they scroll, they compare 3 of your 4 listings, they read some reviews, they add to cart, maybe they leave, they come back a day later, and finally they purchase. That process, the one your entire listing is built to win, is about to get bypassed. With auto buy, a Prime member tells Rufus something like, buy these headphones when they're 30% off, or purchase this protein powder when it hits $15 or less, and then they close the app. Rufus checks the price every 30 minutes. When the trigger hits, it completes the purchase using the customer's default payment method and shipping address. No confirmation screen, no cart review. The customer gets a notification with a 24-hour window to cancel if they change their mind. That is it. Amazon says customers are saving on average 20% per purchase through auto buy. An auto buy request stays active for 6 months or until the customer cancels them. Think about what that means for your purchase funnel. The customer isn't comparing your listing or competitors at the moment of purchase. They set their intent once, maybe 2 weeks ago, and the AI handles everything from there. Rufus doesn't just wait for a price drop on one specific product either. If the customer says, buy me wireless earbuds under $30, Rufus has to decide which earbuds. It evaluates your listing content, your review sentiment, your price history, and this is the part nobody's talking about. External authority signals, articles, publications, third-party mentions of your brand. All of that feeds into the recommendations. The question isn't whether your customer will use auto buy, it's whether your product is the one Rufus picks when that trigger hits. And this isn't a niche feature for tech-savvy shoppers. 300 million people are already using Rufus. Sessions with Rufus converts at 3.5 times the rate of sessions without it. That's from independent Sensor Tower research covering over 100,000 holiday shopping sessions on Black Friday. Rufus assisted sessions made up to 40% of traffic but drove 66% of purchases. Auto buy is one feature inside the system that's already driving the majority of Amazon's growth. Ignore it and you're invisible to the fastest growing purchase channel on the platform. Now, on the surface, auto buy sounds like a conversation unlock. Customers set a price target, your product hits it, sale happens automatically, more sales with less friction. What's not to like? Here's what not to like. Auto buy could train your customers to only purchase when you're discounted. Instead of building brand loyalty, you're conditioning buyers to wait for deals while the AI monitors your pricing every 30 minutes. Think about the behavior loop this creates. A customer likes your product but sets an auto buy trigger at 20% off. They won't buy at full price. Why? Why would they? Rufus is watching. The moment you run a promotion, a lightning deal, a coupon, Rufus catches it and executes the purchase. Now multiply that across your customer base. If enough buyers set auto buy triggers, your promotion stops being an acquisition tool and becomes the only way those customers transact. You're not running a sale to attract new business. You're running a sale because your existing customers have outsourced their purchasing to an AI that only buys on discount. Now here's where it gets worse. Rufus shows 30 days and 90-day price history on any product. A customer can ask, has this been on sale in the past 30 days? And Rufus will tell them the current price, the highest price, and the lowest price over that window. If you've been running frequent promotions and price history works against you, the customer sees you regularly discount to $22 and set their auto buy trigger to $22. Your $29 list price becomes fiction. So what's the move? You need a pricing strategy that accounts for auto buy behavior. That means being deliberate about when and how often you discount. If you're running coupons every 2 weeks, you're training Rufus to tell your customers that your real price is the coupon price. And before you think, I'll just never discount, that's not realistic either. The brands that win here are the ones that justify their full price so clearly that customers don't bother setting discount triggers. Which brings me to the next part that actually matters. Here's where it shifts from pricing strategy to listing strategy. When Rufus decides which products to auto buy or recommend through Help Me Decide or to feature in a sponsored prompt, it's not reading your listing the way the old A9 algorithm did. The old system was basically a spreadsheet. You put keywords in your title and bullets, Amazon matched them to search query, and sales velocity determines rank. That's done. Amazon now runs COSMO, common sense knowledge generation. Instead of matching keywords to queries, COSMO builds a knowledge graph. It understands relationships between entities. Your product isn't a row in a spreadsheet anymore. It's a node in a web of connected data. Two products within identical keywords can get completely different visibility in Rufus because COSMO doesn't just ask, does this listing mention these words? It asks, does this product actually solve what the customer needs? And this is where it connects directly to auto buy. When a customer sets a trigger like buy me the best value running shoes under $80, Rufus doesn't just filter by price and keyword match, it evaluates the full knowledge graph node of every eligible product. That includes your listing copy, but not the way you think. Rufus processes noun phrases, not keyword strings. The old way of stringing bullet points was heavy duty durable, made of 304 stainless steel, anti-rust, non-slip handle, dishwasher safe, best kitchen gadget, just a pile of keywords separated by commas. What Rufus actually reads well sounds more like this: professional grade durability for dense ingredients, constructed from solid 304 stainless steel with a reinforced hinge mechanism designed to crush unpeeled garlic cloves and fibrous ginger root without bending. Same product, same material, but one version tells AI what the product does and who it's for, and the other is just keywords dumped that COSMO can't pass into the meaningful node. It also evaluates your review sentiment. If 50 customers say your beige blanket looks yellow, COSMO retags your product as yellow regardless of what your title says. Rufus will warn customers about the discrepancy. Your reviews aren't just social proof anymore. They're data inputs that the AI uses to decide whether to recommend or warn against your product. And here's the one that should really get your attention. Rufus uses RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, to pull insights from external publications, the New York Times, Good Housekeeping, Vogue, USA Today. Researched by AI sections now appear above your listing in search results, referencing external sources first. So when Rufus makes an auto buy decision, it's weighing your listing quality, your review sentiment, your price history, and what the internet says about your brand. The AI trusts what other humans say about you more than you say about yourself. A competitor with a single mention in a well-indexed trade publication might outrank your fully optimized listing. That's not a theory. That's how RAG works. And your auto buy specifically, where there's no human retrieval, the final decision, the AI trust signals are the only thing that matters. So what do you actually do about this? I've given you the problem. Here's the fix. And it starts with something you can do in the next 20 minutes. So step 1, go to the Amazon app right now and ask Rufus 5 questions about your own product. The 5 diagnostic questions are: what is this product for? What do people like about this product? What don't people like about this product? What are people buying instead of this product? Why do customers choose this product over alternatives? Write down every answer, because what Rufus says about your product right now is exactly what it tells a customer who's considering an auto buy. If the answers are vague, accurate, or misleading, or missing your key selling points, that's your listing gap. That's what you need to fix. So step 2, take those Rufus responses plus your current listing copy and feed them into Claude or ChatGPT and ask it to identify what Rufus understands about your product versus what you want it to understand. The gaps between those two things are your optimization priorities. Then step 3, rewrite your bullets using noun phrases, features plus benefits plus content, not keyword stuffing. Every bullet should answer what does this do for whom and in what situation. Then step 4, and this is the one everyone skips, fill every single backend attribute field: subject matter, intent use, material composition, care instructions, every empty field in a severed connection in your knowledge graph. COSMO can't build a complete node for your product if half of the data is missing. Empty fields equal uncertainty equals exclusion from Rufus recommendations. Then step 5, check your Q&A section. Rufus indexes Q&A aggressively to find answers for edge cases queries. If a customer asks Rufus, will this fit a 10-inch pan, and nobody has answers that question on your listing, Rufus has nothing to reference. Seed 5 to 10 strategic questions per ASIN that match the queries your customers actually ask. Sellers who've gone through this process report 20 to 35% conversion increases. Some see 2x sales velocity. One foot roller brand discovered through Rufus Diagnostic that their primary buyers were nurses, not athletes. They changed their positioning and saw immediate improvements. A backpack seller found a miscategorization issue, fixed it, and doubled their sales. The tool to diagnose the problem is free. It's sitting right there in Amazon's app. Most of you have never asked Rufus a single question about your own product. One more thing you need to know, and this connects directly to AutoBuy. Amazon is now running ads inside Rufus conversations. These are 2 new formats. Sponsored prompts appear on competitor product pages. Small clickable prompts like why choose your brand that opens a Rufus conversation comparing your product to ones they're looking at. Sponsored placements show up inside Rufus chat responses when shoppers ask for recommendations. And here's why this matters for AutoBuy. There are no standalone Rufus ad campaigns. The AI pulls from your existing sponsored product campaigns automatically. Targeting is 100% semantic, no keyword bidding. Rufus decides which ad to show based on your PDP content and review sentiment. So your listing content quality is now your ad bid. If your content is vague or your reviews are thin, the AI won't feature you, even if you're spending more than your competitors on an ad. Early beta data shows sponsored prompts deliver 18% higher click-through rates. Video creatives inside chat drove 12% higher add to cart actions, but reporting is still limited. Rufus ad performance rolls up into other placements. There's no dedicated Rufus dashboard yet. It's a black box. And the prompt format is particularly aggressive. It appears on your competitor's listing page. A customer is looking at your competitor's product, sees why choose your brand, clicks it, and Rufus generates a comparison highlighting your USPs pulled from your listings, A+ content, brand store, and reviews. It turns your competitor's page into your sales pitch. So your action item here is simple. Make sure your sponsored product campaigns are active. That's your ticket into Rufus conversations. But the quality of your listing content determines whether Rufus actually picks you when it builds those comparison and recommendations. And ad spend gets you in the door. Content quality determines whether the AI features you or your competitors. And for auto buy specifically, if a customer has an active auto buy trigger and Rufus is deciding between your product and competitors, the sponsored prompt that led to a positive comparison 3 weeks ago is a data point the AI remembers. So here's what auto buy really changes. For the first time in history of Amazon, a sale can happen with no customer on the page. No browse, no compare, no click. The AI evaluates, the AI decides, the AI purchases, and the signal it uses to make that decisions are shifting. Your listing matters, but Rufus weighs recent reviews 2.4 times higher than old ones. Your backend attributes matter, but only if they're filled in. Your ad spend matters, but only if your content quality backs it up. And the signal that matters most, what other people say about your brand outside of Amazon. Rufus pulls from external publications, the New York Times, Good Housekeeping, trade publications, news sites. If your brand has authority signals across the web, Rufus trusts you more. If it doesn't, it trusts your competitors more. The AI doesn't care what you say about yourself, it cares what everyone else says. That last part, the external authority signals, is the piece that connects everything I just showed you. We ran a test on this, took a beauty brand, distributed one strategic press release and got picked up by 581 media outlets, Yahoo Finance, Business Insider, AP News. In 2 weeks, ChatGPT brand impressions jumped 13.5% and Gemini went up 12.7%. We haven't even started working on the website. No schema markup, no structured data, just offsite authority. Those are the exact signals Rufus is pulling from when it decides what to auto buy, the exact same ones. I made a full case study video showing the data, every placement, every AI platform lift, and the framework for building these signals for your brand. That video is right above here. It should be in the description as well. If you just spent 12 minutes understanding why Rufus picks what it picks, that video shows you how to make sure it picks your brand. See you in the next one. Goodbye.